Hi there, I hope you're fine. If you're new to my channel, my name is Mary. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome home. Please, I'd like you to check the recent video that I did upload, the video that I talked about differentiated instruction. So there's something that goes hand in hand with differentiated instruction. So remember I had defined what differentiated instruction is. Probably I can repeat so that I bring in what I want to talk about. So differentiated instruction is whereby we have a structure or a design where the needs of every individual learner in a class is catered for. Like every learner is handled differently because they come with different abilities, and we can all agree that that is the truth. Each learner is unique and each learner has a different way of learning. They have their own strengths, weaknesses, interests, and such. And once you understand how to define differentiated instruction, then it becomes easy for you to relate with what I want to do. So I want to briefly talk about what we call learner profile, creating a learner's profile. A learner's profile is very important, and this is something that I'd like to challenge especially teachers to consider doing it. So what is a learner profile? A learner profile is a profile that is created for every individual learner in a class. And it is very important because it helps all the teachers that go into that class to understand how to handle different learners. So in a learner's profile, there are around, we have around around four things that should be considered if you want to create a learner profile. And also this one can be done by a parent. If you are a parent who is interested in your child's education, this is something that you can equally do. So what are those four things that you should consider in your learner's profile or in your child's education profile? So the first thing is to identify their strengths. Each child has their own strengths. And a simple example that I can give you is strengths subject-wise. Identify their best subjects. And how can you come to a best subject? It is through checking on their performance, like the consistency. That is what is going to help you know that my child is good in geography, in physics, and such. So identify their strengths subject-wise. Which subjects can they perform very well without needing a lot of push or support from other people? The second thing that you can do under strengths is to identify their interests. What are they interested in? This is quite interesting, and it is obvious that each child in a class has a preference. So that preference is what I call an interest. Are they interested in sciences? Are they interested in humanities? Remember, now we are now narrowing down to subject categories. We are not talking about the subject categories. Are they interested in humanities? Is it geography? Could it be sciences? So it is your work to identify, because the interest is going to help you as an educator to know how best to support that particular child. And then consider also their interest in the future, like which careers do they want to get into once they are done with their schooling. The end goal is for them to get out of school, go to good universities and colleges, and then be employed. So please consider what they want to be or what they want to do in future, because all those things that they want, all those things that they prefer, all those things that they are good in are their strengths. And because those are their strengths, then they can give their best. They can give their best and they can be whoever they want to be. So that is the first thing that everyone should identify in a student. Or if you are a parent who is interested in your child's education, you can even do it at home. The second thing is their weakness. Remember, on one hand we have the strength, on the other hand we have the weakness. So identify the weaknesses. Which subjects does your child find hard to study? Once you have that in your mind, then it will be easy for you to know how best to support them. Will you get maybe will you ask for extra coaching? Will you maybe identify the best mode of learning and all that? So please identify their weaknesses, because their weaknesses is what will contribute. If you're not careful, their weaknesses is what is going to bring them down. So identify their weaknesses as a teacher in that classroom. As a parent, please identify your child's weakness as we try to mold them to be who we want maybe them to be. And then the other thing that we should look for is the best mode of learning. So in the previous video that I talked about differentiated instruction, I said every learner has a different mode of learning. So it is your responsibility as a teacher and a parent to know how best your child can learn. If you think your child is can learn very quickly through hands-on, so encourage a lot of practical aspects so that they can get the desired message to their mind. If they are visual learners, ensure that that is the best mode of learning that a teacher or a facilitator uses. If maybe there are those kind of learners that need to read and write at the same time, then please do so, because they may be learning using the wrong mode of learning, and that is where sometimes you fail to understand. You look at an exam, it's very easy, and you wonder, why is it that this child cannot perform? Why is it that they are not passing? But the trick is the mode of learning. Every child is different, and because they are different, then their mode of learning cannot be the same. Once you get the best mode of learning for your child, believe me, they are going to improve, and this you will see it without even struggling, because you are now supporting them using the right way. And then finally, ask yourself, I have identified all these aspects. How can I support my child, or how can I support my student or learner in classroom? So identify, do they need extra coaching? If that is what they need, then go for it. Do they need to be placed in groups? Do you think group learning is going to help them? If that is what you think, after you doing your own analysis, creating their profile, if you think that is the way they are going to improve, then please do it. And you'll realize that once you've identified how best to support them, then they'll improve. And then on support, the other thing, support their vision, support their mission, because they are different and because they have different abilities. They all have different desires. They have different dreams and aspirations. As an educator or a parent, please support them. Support their dream. If your child wants to be maybe an air hostess, and they have told you they are good in these subjects, they are good in languages, they are good in humanities and all that, just support them instead of you being their biggest critique. Once you keep on criticizing them, you are not supporting them. As much as you may feel that they are not exploiting their potential, but please try as much as possible and support them, because we are trying to create a profile. And once you have a profile, it will be easy for you to support your child, because you know the limits that your child can go to. You know how much they can stretch. If you think that they are not stretching enough, push them. If you think they need to be supported in whichever the way, please go for it. I challenge everyone who will watch this video, if you have a student maybe you're a teacher, a facilitator, a parent, a guardian, whatever or whoever you are, can you try and create your own child's profile or your students or learner's profile? And once you have identified all this, then you will just see the way they're going to improve. They're going to be happy. They love school, and they'll be excited about the subjects that they are doing. They'll be excited about the environment. They'll be excited to share with you everything that they are going through. So please, let's do something. It is only us to understand what are these nitty-gritties that are going to help these kids bring the best, for us to bring the best out of them. So how about that? What do you think? Please leave a comment in the comment section. I really appreciate for your feedback, and let's keep on pushing, because we know very well that our children there's no one who is limited, and because there's no one who is limited, they can be whoever they want to be. It is only for us to identify what is it. So please comment, tell me what do you think about learner profiling. I'm going to leave a lot of information in the description box so that you can see how best to go or to maneuver your way as you try to create a learner's profile. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.